Hi Vlogalogue. So this week we're talking about life experiences, and while at first I kind of want to go down a semi-comedic and probably very short video talking about how I've learned to have better reflexes thanks to a lot of accidents I had when I was younger, I'm actually going to talk more about something that both Kevin and Niall kind of talked about, which was communication. I think it comes down to 2 points within communication for me that I've learned consistently. It's kind of been like one of those things that it builds itself on with each experience I've had, where not only is it communication, like clear communication that's important, but being open to communicate. Clearly communicating is like making sure you're saying what you mean to say, and you're getting, like, people can discern the point of what you're trying to talk about, and you're like, whether it comes to standing up for yourself or just making sure someone's getting the appropriate information, that it's clearly discernible in what you're saying. And as far as being open to communicate, it's being willing to listen to someone regardless of what they happen to say before, like who they are or something. Now, this does come from a point, I do want to make a point though, that being open to communicate does have its sort of limits. Like, it's okay to not be open to communicate to someone who doesn't treat another human being as a human being because of race, gender, sex, religion, sexuality, etc. And it's okay to not listen to them because that's just terrible, as opposed to, like, it definitely comes to like a relational thing. Like, if someone is extremely Christian and you don't agree with their views, it doesn't mean you have to discount a conversation they have about why you should wash your chicken before you cook it. But you don't have to listen to them talk about the religion, because you have the right to not communicate about that if that's not something you have. So when I talk about being open to communicate, it's just generally in being open to listening to someone communicate with you in a respectful manner that is appropriate to the situation and appropriate to the topic and appropriate to yourself, because you have to be open to communicate, but only about certain things. It's okay if you're not open to communicate about specific things at specific times because you're still dealing with it or you're still working on something or whatever. Like, that's fine. Anyways, getting back, I think one of the big points in my life where I learned this lesson was back in middle school when I was attending Catholic school, because we had school dances. They were all hosted by one of the different Catholic schools. So at one of these dances, there also happened to be a coinciding festival. And at the festival there was a booth where you could pay to have your friend arrested and paid bail amount. And it was more like you're paying for the warrant. In this scenario, there was me, a male friend, and a female friend. And in this scenario, we had talked to them about, like, how it happens, and like, oh yeah, you pay this much, and then we arrest them, but we're not allowed to touch them. And they said this when they told us the price of the things, right? And so we joked about paying to have our female friend arrested, and she didn't have like a strong negative reaction at first. Like, she wasn't like, no guys, don't do this, I don't want to do it. She was like kind of brushing it off, like, nah, maybe you guys don't. And we were like, oh, come on, it's just for fun. You'd be in there for like 2 seconds and we'd pay to get you out. Like, come on, it's just for the picture, literally. It's just for the picture we want to take of you. Well, we ended up paying to have her arrested. And as soon as we did, she ran. And we were kind of a little surprised that she ran as fast as she did, not because of like what she was wearing or anything. We were just surprised she ran from him. And the guy turned around to us, because we kind of stayed there stunned for a second, and was like, I can't touch her, I can't go chase her, I can't force her in, like, go, like, as a way to tell us, like, you can go tell her this if that's what she's afraid of, type thing, or whatever. So he let us know, and we're like, okay. And we went to go talk to her, and we tried to find her for like the next 10 to 15 minutes and tried to have this conversation with her. Well, apparently she didn't want any of it because she kept running from us. And then we were finally, like, and we were trying to tell her the entire time, like, hey, he can't touch you, like, you just gotta do it, come on, we're like, you're gonna be in there for like 2 seconds before we bail you out, come on. But apparently she thought to get her point across better was when I did finally get fairly close to her and was trying to talk to her, she turned around and punched me in the face, and it wasn't a reaction I was expecting, so I ended up on the floor, and the male friend had taken a step back and was kind of a little shocked and tried to go after her to talk to her, but he didn't go very far because he came back. Every other adult that was at a different booth, their immediate reaction when they saw me get hit and fall to the floor, mind you, I didn't like fall backwards and like hit the back of my head. I just kind of fell on my ass. Was to say oh or gasp and then go back to running their booth. So no adult in the situation thought it was smart to go up to a 6th grader who had just gotten punched in the face and see if she was okay. But what ended up happening is my male friend ended up giving me a phone, and I went home because my party mood was officially over. And then there was a conversation in the principal's office the following school day because this was on a weekend. It definitely showed me that you need to be a lot clearer in your communication, not only from her needing to be more clear and expressing, hey guys, don't do this because I don't want to do it, as well as her lack of wanting to communicate with us about like the situation and just let it go, as opposed to punching me in the face. When it comes to college, it's different, I think, because it's more about communicating with your professors. I think that's sort of important, and it can relate to high school, but it really depends. But especially in college, professors will tell you to communicate with them if you're having any problems understanding the work or the assignment that they have in front of you, or if you're having any problems completing the assignment, or even if you're just going to be out sick. They so much more appreciate it if you send them a message, whether it's like 15 minutes before class, an hour before class, or like days before class. If you let them know you're not going to be there, they're a lot more willing to help you prepare. Like if it's something where you're going away on a vacation or something a little early, if you let them know, they're a lot more willing to tell you what's going to happen those days in class if it's not already outlined in the syllabus, or to help provide you with the work you're going to be missing if you talk to them about it early enough, and if you are open with communicating with them. Because a lot of the time they're very open for communication, and I've seen so many of them emphasize, if you don't understand an assignment or if you're struggling with something, please come talk to us. Or like, they're so adamant about it because so few people take the opportunity to go and talk to the teachers about the things they're struggling with, or about school in general, or about anything to help them in their situation, because so many times these teachers can't help you with their experience that they have had about how to tackle an assignment, or about juggling school with work, or something of some sort, or even give you advice about what to do in your specified program. But it doesn't happen often enough, and they're trying to encourage it so that way you're not wasting your time or your money, particularly in college. So I've always found, and still continue to find, that communication and being willing to communicate and not shut down for small things is very important. So always make sure you're willing to communicate and communicating clearly. So until next week, Vlogalogue. Bye.